we're going to have a long study. I am not an exciting teacher. We're going to get technical because you study the Bible. Just as you study algebra, you don't preach algebra. It'd be a big problem if we preached algebra. I will give you a little background about myself. I come from both specters of this world. My mother was an American who met my father, who's an Arab, Jordanian, in Humboldt State College, University today. My American side, my great-grandfather was mayor of Eureka, California. He was also an excellent friend with Winston Churchill. From my other Arabic side, my grandfather was the chieftain, Mukhtar, and he owned a big portion of the shepherd's fields, you know, where the angel came down and proclaimed the Messiah. That was owned by Grandpa, most of it. When I first started to read the Bible, I was fascinated with the minor prophets. I began to see very quickly that the good guys that I knew were the good guys were the bad guys in the Bible. And the bad guys in the Bible were my good guys. Something was very fishy.
You know, because number one, the Bible taught that Noah was an alcoholic, you know, and to me, it didn't fit right, you know, because I have seen family members that had dealt with alcoholism, and an alcoholic has trouble holding down a job at a fast food restaurant, you know, doing simple tasks that involve logical thinking. So if Noah was
just to point out, Noah would be one of God's messengers.
Yes, Noah is one of the very earliest messengers. Speaking of in the Bible, he was a very early messenger.
We're not just talking about some ordinary man.
No, we're talking about God's prophet. And Noah was actually the one God commanded to build the ark, to save humanity when he destroyed the world with a flood.
Yeah.
So Noah was given the task of saving this world with an ark by building a huge ark all by himself. And I'm thinking to myself, how does an alcoholic accomplish this? Number one, how does he know that it was God speaking to him if he was drunk?
Now, what does the Bible actually say about him drinking?
That he was a drunkard and would be passed out in this drunken state. It refers to him, Noah was a drunkard.
Yeah.
This statement is in the Bible.
It says
Noah
that in the Bible.
was a drunkard.
Okay.
So this didn't make sense to me. How could Noah be a prophet of God, build an ark to save humanity? He was an alcoholic. You know, so you know, I kind of let that roll off my back. You go a little farther. Then you reach like the story of Lot, you know, Abraham and Lot. You know, Lot was the one who was a Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, the ones,
yes,
the cities that were destroyed because of their homosexuality. It is said that Lot's daughters got him drunk, basically doped him up and slept with him, and then bore children through this incest. You know, and again, this is supposed to be a prophet of God. Then you get to the story of David. David is considered one of the greatest prophets of the Jews and of Christians. David, the one who reconstructed the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. And you get to his story, and his story in the Bible says that he saw a woman, Bathsheba, and she was, you know, laying out sunbathing or whatever, and decided that he could not control his desires, that he wanted her. So he took her, slept with her, basically raped her. Decided he wanted to keep her. She was married. So, and her husband was one of the generals in his army, so decided the way I need to clean this up was he sent a letter to his armies, because they were at war at that time, sent a letter to his generals that when the battle gets fierce, leave Uriah. Just abandon him, let him fight on his own. So that he would be killed, and now he could have Bathsheba legally. So
I began to see that my Mahdi was your Antichrist. And your Christ was my Antichrist. In fact, Muhammad said that one of the signs of the times for Muslims is that the false Christ will lead 70,000 Jews and Christians from Jerusalem. Satan even knew that there will be a unity between Christians and Jews in the ends of time.
For Muslims, Jesus has a very special future role. According to the Hadith, Islamic prophetic traditions, Jesus will return to earth before the Day of Judgment.
He will descend at the white minaret in the eastern side of Damascus, wearing garments dyed with saffron, and placing his hands on the wings of 2 angels. Every non-believer who smells him will die. He will then search for the Antichrist and will catch up with him at the gate of Lud and will kill him.
One possible location for the gate of Lud is at the village of the same name in modern Israel. Today, there is a small mosque on the site. So, Jesus in Islam is very important because he kills the Antichrist here in Lud.
Yes.
This is absolutely true. Jesus, who is the son of Mary, may he be blessed by God, is one of the prophets that we believe in, and that is our conviction.
Similar to Christian prophecies about the end times, Islam also talks about a day of judgment, for which there will be many signs, one of which will be the return of Jesus. When is the Day of Judgment? Will it come soon?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. No one knows except for God.
The Islamic prophecies also predict a series of cataclysmic events, including a great war. On one occasion, the Prophet Muhammad is reported to have said,
The hour will come when violence, bloodshed, and anarchy become common. Great cities will be ruined, and it will be as if they had not existed the day before. There will be years of deceit, when a truthful person will be disbelieved, and a liar will be believed.
We Muslims advise Christians, or rather the people of the West, to pay attention to the teachings of Christ. Otherwise, peace will not exist among those peoples.
الحضارة الأمريكية الآن أيضا وهي حضارة ترفع لافتة
Today, American culture has taken up the slogan of evangelical Christianity. It's a culture of annihilation, invasion and domination.
وحضارة تسلط.
I don't need to remind you about what is happening in Iraq and Afghanistan. This is domination over those people.
هذه الشعوب وتعيث
They
فساد
are spreading injustice,
وتشرد
killing people, making women and children homeless.
وتهدم البيوت على
All is done under the name of religion.
الدين.
Do you think Jesus will come back soon?
We hope so. We hope so. نحن نتأمل أن يأتي الفرج
We hope so. We hope so. We really hope so. We want Jesus to save humanity from injustice.
After killing the Antichrist in the run-up to the Day of Judgment, Muslims believe Jesus will then live for another 40 years, have a wife and children, and die a natural death.
نحن نؤمن بعيسى بن مريم.
We believe that Jesus is a Muslim prophet and that he will come back at the end of time to support Islam and to become its advocate and preach the word of truth.
عظيما لنصرة الإسلام والمسلمين وإعلاء كلمة الحق.